Hello and welcome to Steve's Vintage Model Builds. I'm Steve, and a very hearty welcome to all, whether you're a subscriber, returning viewer, or a brand new viewer. I hope you'll find it fun, informative, and entertaining. All right, and so today we've got a reveal and after kit review, or after build review. And this is on the Atlantis 148 White 3000 and Fruehauf trailer, 148 kit. And so, true to the namesake of the channel, this is indeed a vintage kit. Sorry, I've got a different angle going here for various different reasons here today. And so anyways, yeah, so I printed this off, and you see the dinosaur up here. They all had the brontosaurus up there, or whatever kind of sauropod it was. Some say it's another dead kind, but whatever. Anyways, and then we got our little Sinclair Dino gasoline, and taking full advantage of the power and marketing abilities of the mighty beasts who have millions of years ago died, rotted, and turned themselves into oil for us. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, and so yeah, so we're going to get this out of the way. I mean, you know, it's okay. And so we'll show you the kit, the completed build, and then we'll go into the after build review. So first feature here, well, here, I'll take the trailer off, and then we'll move this to the side. Okay, so first thing is, as I said, true to the station's namesake, or the channel's namesake, this was tooled in 1956. And, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Just because it gets old doesn't mean that it's, you know, no good or whatever. Having said that, this kit does show its age. There was a fair bit of flash. Things don't fit together perfectly, but easy to work with. And we'll open up the doors here. There we go. Okay, so here you can see we've got the fire extinguisher, and then we've got the internal pump system, which I detailed up, and pretty happy with that. Underneath, again, we've got some very nice detail here. All the different, you know, the pipes and so on and so forth, the spare tire, the whatever you call these wheels. And yeah, so pretty happy with it. The paint was all rattle can. I primed it with Spanish moss color, and then used Tamiya Racing Green. What is it here? Racing Green TS43. Yeah. Mostly because I couldn't find emerald green. There is a specific color for this, but you know, maybe it's a little darker than the box. Oops, wrong way, Steve. Wrong way, Corrigan. But I think it's pretty close, and I like the color, so it's very nice. And I couldn't get emerald green in a rattle can, and I think the actual green is only produced for Sinclair oil now. So whatever that specific color is, it starts with a P, I can't remember. Okay, and so the decals went on beautifully. Everything was really nice as far as that goes. The instructions were clear. Going the wrong way here. There we go. The instructions were clear, and there were a few things that need to be kind of worked and controlled a bit, but for the most part, the kit went together very nicely. Moving on to the tractor. Again, we've got some nice detail here. I messed up the windows, but that's on me, not on them. Underneath, and there we go. Cab opens up. Move that back a bit so you can see it better. Yeah, cab opens up. You can see the engine. I think this is an inline 6. And the battery detail here. And can't really see it, but there's nice detail inside there. It's mostly green. I painted the seats black, the dashboard black, silvered up the dials, and yeah, and so there's the front with the lights. I was having problems with the paint. It was blistering on me, so I'm not sure what that's about. I always shake it thoroughly, and anyways, one of my buddies online suggested warming the can a little bit in warm water, not boiling water. You don't want to do the turret toss. Oh, and here I started the figures, and I was looking at the box again, and of course their uniforms are more green than blue. This was a gray-green, but in any case, I'll rectify that. No big deal to put a light green coat over top and then some panel liner, and it should look good. Okay, so excuse me. After build review. I don't give scores for after build reviews, but basically, and this is a little different than when I originally set it up. It's been built on by experience, and so there's bad, and bad is just no redeeming qualities whatsoever, and probably more expensive than it should have been. So yeah, so that's where we start. Bad. Then there's poor and poor minus. Poor would be a kit that has a lot of problems for you to solve, or tons of flash or nasty ejection pin marks, all that kind of thing. But with the work, you can complete the kit and usually mostly be pretty happy with what you've produced. Poor minus would be if you go through all that and the kit really wasn't worth the money, not just because of the difficulties, but just because it's not worth that money. And then from poor we go to fair, and fair is a decent kit, maybe a little overpriced, or maybe a few more problems than you'd expect or want, but generally what goes together well, and and the instructions are good, and so on and so forth. And then we move to good. Obviously, good is good. Satisfactory value for what you got for your money. The way the kit went together. Additional information they provided on the subject. Good painting instructions. I'm not going to ding them on this, um, but the painting instructions were basically see the box. They listed a few paint colors, but not all of the ones you're going to need. And so, but that's the way they did stuff back then. So I'm not going to ding them on that. If somebody did that today with a new release kit, that would just be, yeah, I mean, any decent kit comes with proper instructions, painting instructions, along with regular instructions. Okay, and then from good we move to very good, which is, basically a good kit, but there were things, added bonus things that you wouldn't have expected, or made the kit a really exceptional value. And then we come to excellent. And excellent is excellent. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. And, you could say a lot of the older Tamiya kits are excellent. But, really, as much as I love Tamiya, they're excellent in that they go together without problems and so on and so forth. But the kits that were tooled in the 70s, especially, they don't have the detail you get in a kit today, and so on and so forth. So and it's usually black and white instructions, although they give you detailed paint instructions. So most older Tamiya kits are going to be a very good, and some of the new ones obviously are going to be excellent. I don't have any of those in my stash. I don't expect to, because they're outside my normal budget that I set for myself for purchasing kits. Besides, I can spend $300 on one kit, or I can spend $300 on 4 kits. So yeah, and building Fast and Furious now. It's been cold here this April, and so spending a lot of time inside, and I hurt my back, so wasn't working out in the garden as much. But it's all been held up by the cool weather anyways, so it's all worked out just fine. So anyways, yeah, enough about me. Okay, and so, yeah, and then in the end here, and occasionally I will revise a score if I encountered something unexpected that I didn't see when I reviewed the kit, good or bad. So, that's possible too. And I always try to be fair. And it is objective, or very subjective. I try to be objective, but, it's the things that I think are important, or the things that really knock a kit down. So, anyways, yeah, so as far as this kit's concerned, I'm going to give it a fair to good, a fair plus, if you will. At $36 and change. Don't get me wrong, I like the kit. It was a nice build. I had a lot of fun with it. And it's going to look great on the shelf. But, it showed its age, 1956 tooling. And there were a few fit problems. Most of them, you can't notice them if you don't look too close. And the instructions were good, so yeah, so at $36 and change, I wouldn't have wanted to spend more than that on this kit. You do get the 2 figures, which is why I even considered, even though it's it's $148, so $36, that's still a pretty good bargain. And like I say, the decals went on beautifully, except for the rattle can paint, which is probably on me. The paint went on nicely. The detail was okay. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a fair plus. And for a younger modeler, or a beginner or early novice type modeler, this would be a good kit, a solid good kit for you to develop and practice your skills on, especially trimming flash. There wasn't too much of it really, but there was a little bit, and there were some things that needed to be trimmed. But as I said, the kit went together very nicely. I had no problems with it, and you get the nice little accessories. So yeah, yeah, a fair plus, bordering on good, depending on the kind of modeler you are. I had a lot of fun with it, and so it was a good value for what it was. For a modeler like me, this took a little longer because I was doing other things. But for call it an intermediate modeler. Some might call me a novice or a rank amateur, which I am in many ways. But in many ways, I'm an intermediate modeler with those kind of skills. For an intermediate modeler like me and many of you out there, this would just be a weekend build. But as you can see, you can make a nice diorama with it. Oh, and that's the other thing. If you didn't see the original review, this also comes with decaling for United States Army Air Force version. So yeah, that would work great for a diorama too. Again, if you didn't see the review, this is a 1953 White 3000, as I said, with an inline 6-cylinder engine. And the engine's not too detailed, but there's detail there. And yeah, it's nice that the cab lifts up so that you can see it. And there's very nice detail. I'll pull it up. Very nice detail in here with these pipes and valves and stuff. So, and of course you can have that open or closed. I think the way I don't have tubing. I'm not going to make a diorama with the whatever you call it to put the gas in. I think I'm going to have it with the cab up, and one guy standing here, and this guy standing here, like they're doing some work on the engine. There we go. The figures, they were pretty good. Kind of interesting here. This guy, whoops, turn it around, Steve. This guy has his cap on at kind of an angle, a rakish angle, which might have been used in the past by some literary types. So yeah, there it is. So a fair to good, really approaching a good, and so I had a lot of fun with it. So thanks for joining me, and if you do come across this kit and you have it in your budget, I'd certainly recommend it. Just take your time with it, and it'll turn out great. Oh, and the technique I used. Let me see. These are both really good examples. These two here. The technique I used on these rims was to take an old X-Acto knife blade, dip it in the paint, and then run it around. And I found that hardly bled over into anything, and was just real nice. Okay, so that's it for this video. Again, thanks to everyone who's joined me. Thanks to all the support I get from many across the community, and by far and away, all I found is really nice people who aren't judgmental. They're supportive. They're encouraging. Always willing to share ideas, and also ask for help. So yeah, a little bit different. Than the model railroad community. Not saying anything, just saying different. Yeah. Okay, so thanks again, and there'll be more stuff to come. Have a great day. Bye now.